Quite some ebbs and flows in the game, obviously. Started out kind of exchanging baskets, and then they went on a run, and then we went on a run, and then they went on a run, and then we didn't have another run in us. And that was kind of the difference in the game. They were able to really take control over the game, to start that second half. And we still got to figure out why that is the case, or why we can't consistently be playing better for longer. So that'll be the challenge we have, and we're going to have to keep trying to figure it out, keep trying to fight, keep trying to get better, keep trying to improve, keep trying to get more guys to come along and contribute, because right now it's frustrating.
Coach, you talk about ebbs and flows. Over 5 times your team went scoreless for long periods of time, with 5-19 being the longest. Is that more of situational basketball where your team might be taking bad shots, or what can contribute to the streakiness of the team? Because throughout the course of the last couple of games, it seems like there have been streaks where you guys aren't scoring.
Yeah, how many layups can you miss? I mean, we'll go back and watch the shots. There was probably a few that I didn't like. A lot of them are at the rim. And you got to be able to finish. And that was the story on Wednesday. We were 5 for 20 at the rim. And we miss layup, they make layup. We miss layup, they make layup. Somehow Youngstown makes their layups, and maybe we're not providing enough resistance, but we miss all of our layups. Opportunities to get 3-point plays. We're 5 for 13 from the free throw line, including the missing over front end of a 1-on-1, so that's 5 for 14, so we shoot 30% from the free throw line. Like you can't beat anybody doing that. And so they make it difficult on you, and you have to continue to be able to play offense just as hard as you play defense, and you've got to be able to sustain that over 40 minutes. And so that's the challenge. That's where we've got to get to if we want to be able to win games.
No Chris Ford tonight. He was dressed. Didn't play because just didn't get in.
Yeah, just didn't feel like it was a great matchup for him.
Youngstown State's a pretty senior-heavy team, a lot of fifth-year guys. Do you think that's, maybe part of the reason why they were able to find some consistency over your guys, a little bit of a younger team for you?
I don't know. I think at some point in time, obviously there's adjustments to playing college basketball, but Marquise is a fifth-year guy. Steph's played a lot of minutes. We need some more contributions from a lot of people. Justice is a third-year guy. Jackson's fourth-year guy basically. Josh Corbin's a fifth-year guy, right? We got to be able to do what it takes to be able to win, and we got to be able to do it consistently. We're just too inconsistent right now.
Talk about Jackson. I mean, he had a strong performance at Wisconsin, and since then he's been pretty quiet. Didn't score a point tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. He's one of our most consistent people. He's an incredible teammate. He kind of etched a role for himself last year because he was just so consistent and so solid. He didn't shoot the ball great, especially in the beginning of the year. I don't know. I was trying to urge him at halftime to just stop thinking and play, but he's struggling a little bit right now. We got to figure out a way to try to help him contribute more, because he's capable of contributing more. He's not going to stop working, I guarantee you that. He probably feels worse about some of his performance than anybody does, because he feels like he's not doing what he can do to help the team. And we got to keep battling, we got to keep working, we got to keep improving, and we got to try to stack days to be able to get this thing back on the right track.
I thought in the first half you guys did a good job with the ball movement, opening up some lanes, especially for guys to run the baseline, but also you guys exploited that mid to high post area, hitting some mid-range jumpers. Was that something that YSU took away in the second half?
Well, they went a little more switching man to man, and again, the turnovers that we have, like the number of possessions that we just completely give away is, it's hard to watch. I mean, it's okay if something's not open. We don't need to force it. We have 2 or 3 turnovers a game where we're throwing it to somebody who's not ready to get the ball, and if they got the ball, what they do with it. And so, you go over, maybe a 70 possession offensive game, and you give 10 possessions away. Just give away. And, like TJ's offensive foul in the first half. Josh Corbin gets the ball stolen, and it turns into a layup. TJ Wainwright turnover in the second half where he's throwing it to somebody's not there. Jackson, a couple of his turnovers were just like mind-boggling. Bad offense keeps the ball on one side of the floor. Justice steps out of bounds. Like you just give away possessions, and not that there's not going to be turnovers in the game, but like some of them are just like I can't understand what we're seeing. And if you look at an average offense of 1.04 points per possession, if you're giving away 8 possessions like it's nothing, and a handful of those are then leading to offense for the other team, like you're taking 8 points away from yourself, and you're basically gifting the other team multiple layups. And it makes it really hard to win. So, we hold them to 71 points, and they're a good offensive team. And you score 57, but again, if you have 8 to 10 possessions where you're getting 1 point on those possessions, and you're making a free throw or two, like you're in the game. But the combination of some turnovers, some missed layups, some missed free throws, some lack of transition defense, really just all total why the game became the way it did.
That seemed to be an issue against NKU as well, where you guys, guys started cutting and the ball was behind them on passes. If your team can limit those turnovers, where do you see this offense being?
I don't know. It's got to be better than it is, that's for sure. So, again, we'll continue to try to work and try and get better, but it's certainly a frustration.
Could you talk about consistency? How do you work on the consistency? Does it start in the practice court? Does it start in the film room? Is there just players, do you think, have to come in with more positive attitude to build?
I wish we'd come in with a little more of like an edgier attitude, actually. Edgier attitude in terms of just being able to get stuff done that needs to get done. And I think we've got to hold the line as coaches that we've got to do it until we do it right. And I think that can create some consistency, because hopefully at some point you get tired of doing things over for doing them incorrectly. And then you start to either learn how to do it correctly, or your focus grows because you don't want to have to do this again. And it provides some accountability to everyone that's in the practice setting to be able to handle their responsibility. Again, it's not like you're saying, hey, everyone's got to make 10 threes in a row, but hey, we've got to be able to close out properly, or we've got to be able to rotate properly, or we've got to be able to communicate properly, or we have to do it again. And until we start to get some days like that, I think it makes it that much harder.
Now, with 8 games in, 2 conference games, is there starting to be a sense of urgency inside the locker room at all?
I hope so. I mean, you'd have to ask the guys that. There's certainly a sense of urgency from the coaching staff. And I think that there's a desire to do the right thing from the players. We just need more of it from more guys. And I think that we've got to be able to, again, do it consistently. So that's kind of the theme of today is, the lack of consistency that creates some of the issues.
Coming into today, Youngstown State, one of the better rebounding teams in the conference. You guys a little bit undersized when you match up against some teams. Now their starting rotation, I mean, they weren't, much big of a difference, but when someone like Gabe Dines came in, who's a freshman, which I'm sure you guys will be seeing for quite some time over the next couple of years, how do you guys approach that when you're going against a larger team?
I mean, he had 3 defensive rebounds. So, the killer ones are like Brett Thompson has 2 offensive rebounds, including that one late in the game where he misses the layup and he comes back in and gets the ball. And that's just a lack of effort on our part. The tallest guys aren't always the best rebounders, or else George Murasan would be the all-time leading rebounder in NBA history. So, a lot of it's effort, a lot of it's discipline, a lot of it's desire. Marquise is obviously an excellent rebounder. Steph's an excellent rebounder. We need more from, again, more guys.
There was a point in time where I think it was the first half where there was a rebound on the offensive side for them. Marquise seemed to not chase after right in front of your bench. I mean, is that one of those examples?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the play you're referring scoring too, but we'll go back and review all that stuff and again, trying to figure out why.
Good, thanks.
All right.